Okay, so I did this last year. I think I did it a little earlier, but that's cool. I'm going to do it again this year. So I'm just going to pull one card for each sign, and the card, unless it's like totally needs clarifying or something. If it's like a court card or something, I might pull an extra. But one card messages for what to concentrate the most on for 2020. Now, generally, when I have this in mind, it's more of like not necessarily like a love read or like a that kind of thing. I mean, it is everything's a love read, but like kind of spiritual, like the depths. Like what is it that we each sign needs to focus on. I'm gonna use this new deck I got. The Oh fuck, I forgot the name of it already. Oh, Tarot Illuminati. I just got this. Oh, nice. For Christmas. So my mom gave me this, and she also gave me the Wild Unknown, which I already had, but but it was awesome though. It was nice of her to she goes, I wasn't sure about this one. She goes, I took pictures of all your decks, but I had that one like put back on a bookshelf so she didn't see it. It was really cute. But how cool is that she knows me that well because I actually love that deck and so I thought yeah that's cool. But she got the Tarot Illuminati, so I'm going to be using this because I've been messing around with it a little bit today. It's super magical, super cool, and I really really like it. And I've seen some other top readers use this deck a lot. So that's and I didn't never realize that it has guilt on the edges too. When I've seen this deck being used. So very excited to use this for this read. So all right, so let's get started and see what messages to pay attention to for 2020. All right. And maybe dig back. I'll try to link it if I can find it. Dig back and see what your message was for this year. See if that made sense. Although it probably made sense to the people who watched it at that time, but still, you never know. Maybe there's something to be garnered from that as well, from last year's. I remember Scorpio's was the Hermit. Okay. Okay, we're ready to go. So Aries, let's see, Eight of Pentacles, perfect. So Eight of Pentacles, working on there's several ways to look at this. Okay, so the basic idea behind this card is it's about honing your craft, honing your skills. Okay, so you can put that into context of all things. So uh, it's a good card for individual business, entrepreneurship, bringing out the latent talents that you already have and advancing those skills so that you can just become like a master at your craft, whatever that may be. Okay, it doesn't have to be creative or anything like that. It's sometimes it's alluding to more creative type skills, but creative skills come in many different forms. It doesn't necessarily have to mean you're like an artist or a painter or something like that. So it's a very good card for independent business, working for yourself, learning how to keep getting better at what you do along the way, because the more that you practice at something, the better that you get. This can also be in terms of relationships. You can look at it that way as well. Working on a relationship, putting the work in, putting the effort in, seeing what skills or like talent, that you guys that you guys have together, and forging that forward and just working on yourselves as a couple. So if it's a relationship thing. If it's a personal empowerment thing, working on yourself, which that's probably, that's a very strong message for many of you. I'm sure that will be, because it is very much a card of that as well. Like making yourself better, stronger, spiritually, physically, mentally, all those types of things. So it's a very, very nice card to have. And this particular Eight of Pentacles is just, it's really cool to me because there's a lot of strength behind what this person is doing. It's like, he's got muscles and things, and I don't think it's saying like, oh, you need to be a bodybuilder to, I think that the point of the card is that it's like it's power, like you have a lot of muscle, to do this kind of thing. A lot of power behind it, I feel. So really, really nice message for Aries. So that is what to concentrate on. And of course, spiritually, then that would just mean keep putting in the work, keep putting in the discipline, They call it spiritual disciplines, for a reason, because it does take work. It takes a certain amount, I mean, of freedom, absolutely, but it also takes a good amount of discipleship also to like follow a path and that. So okay, very very cool. Taurus. Wow, Taurus, you have the Five of Swords. Okay. So for you, let me just look at this card because I'm not super familiar with this deck yet. Let me just see if there's any weird differences right away. No, it's pretty standard, same as the Rider-Waite. Okay, so I'm sure there are. It's just there might be some other intricacies that I'll pick up on later after using this deck. But okay, so for you guys, the message is to be um, a little bit more flexible with things. Um, don't be so set on your ideals that you're not open to change at all. Okay, and I'm not just saying that because you're a Taurus and like Tauruses are stubborn. I'm not saying that because of that. That's not why. I'm saying this because that's what the card is. Okay, so it's very much about, yes, it's very good to have some strong ideal about a situation, about like maybe the way the relationship is going, or the way your work and career is going, or your political beliefs, or your religious beliefs, all those types of things. It's fine to have some ideals and some like a standard that you want to keep for yourself. However, this card suggests to look at it in the sense that like don't demand to be right to the point that you're not being open to what's actually being said, if that makes sense. So, in other words, let's say just like a political discussion. We'll just use that. I mean, this could and put it in terms of relationship or work or what have you. But let's say it's a political discussion, all right? Because that's a very good example to use. And you are absolutely standing by your particular political viewpoint, and there is nothing, let's say it's on an issue, and there is nothing that can sway you. But these other people, maybe some friends or some other maybe somebody else, you get into a conversation and they throw out like a lot of points about, well, did you really though think about this part? And you're like, nope, nope, nope. Yeah, and you don't, it's to the point that you don't even actually hear what they're saying, because sometimes people do have little gems to offer that can kind of open us up to like, all right, am I being too rigid here? And it's like, yeah, I still want to make sure I stay on this path because I feel like I'm right with this. But they do bring up a good point. Maybe I should be a little bit more flexible just on this particular, it's that kind of energy. So however that plays out for 2020, that's like the kind of like a little bit more flexibility is what's called for. That's what to pay attention to. That's what's going to bring higher changes into your life, is being able to not just be my way or the highway, and be able to appreciate other people's points of views, and not just in a kind way, like in a condescending way, but in a way that like other people do sometimes have things to offer. And here's one last thing, and I'll stop harping on this. But sometimes in a conversation with someone, and it's like, if you do believe in like God or a higher source or creator or something like that, sometimes God will put words into someone else's mouth and tell them to you. But if you're not having any of it, you're just not listening to it, you're just not flexible, then you might miss like this like pearl of wisdom. Okay, so just be open to things. That's all. It doesn't mean that you're wrong, or that or that the other person's right or anything, but just be flexible in all ways. In 2020, relationships, work relationships, work projects, on spiritual disciplines and your beliefs, that type of thing is what it's calling for, to be a little bit more flexible. Okay, let's see. Gemini. Yeah, Gemini. Gemini, you have the Four of Swords. Okay, this is a nice card actually to have. And it doesn't sound exciting, I know. But again, we're looking at more like the spiritual depths. This isn't saying like this is what your year is going to be. I want to make that clear. Okay, this is about what to pay attention to in 2020 in order to bring kind of like higher energy towards you. So with the Four of Swords, it's like, oh, that's a beautiful Four of Swords. Wow, really nice. Um, so the Four of Swords is about recognizing the pain that you have gone through, like life's various battles, if you will, that we attend to, and it's about not burying them. It's about looking at them and looking at them for what they are. It's about recognizing that oh, okay, I know what that was, and this was a very painful experience for me because this. So it's about like recognizing what you have gone through, the battles that you fought in your own life, in your own psyche, in your own heart, in your own spiritual self, all those types of things, and recognizing sort of what that pain is and why it was there to propel you in some way. Then once recognized and you kind of get a handle on this, then it's time to pick up your truth and get back out there and don't let that stuff hold you down. In other words, you need to see it. You need to see it for what it is, recognize why it happened, and then you don't give up or you don't bury it. You just look at it, acknowledge it, and then you pick up a new kind of revitalization and get back out there. Okay, but it's also a time of like rest, recuperation, things like that. It's a card of going within, connecting with source, whatever that may be for you. It's a card of meditation many times. Or deep prayer, either or. So it's a really nice card. So I think it's just reminding you, to take some easy time for yourself. Make sure that you connect with self a lot this year. Look deeply into things, not where you get lost in them and you ponder on them forever. It's not that kind of thing. It's just like you look deeply at the roots of why something may have caused pain, recognize it for what it is, and then realize like, okay, I'm done with that. Now I'm going to go back out and this is what I'm going to do, and you get that kind of jubilance, again, and that sort of thing. So I think that's a pretty nice card for you guys. All right. Let's see. Cancers. Okay. Wow. Oh, this is a tough one. All right. All right. So here's a clarifier. Okay. Let's clarify this one. Uh, hmm. Three of Swords, Cancers. But don't let that, again, this is not how your year is going to go. I keep running to remind, I'm going to remind every sign on this. This is not saying that your year is going to be Three of Swords. This reading is about what to pay attention to in this year in order to have higher type energy come through. So the Three of Swords. So pay attention, like that's what that could be is pay attention to the pain. Don't. It's very similar to what I just was talking about with Gemini in a sense. It's like don't push that pain away. Don't push it down. Don't leave it in the background as if it never existed. Maybe now is a time to bring it forward, look at it for what it is, learn from it, and then move on. Let's see, Five of Wands, okay, Ten of Cups, okay, hold on. Let me clarify the Three of Swords here too, just to make sure that's where we're going with that. Seven of Swords. Okay, this could be about because I saw the Moon card and the Seven of Swords. This could be what to pay attention to, third-party situations, okay? So I was trying to go a little higher vibe with this, like a little, but, well, I mean, everything is, everything is, it all stems from somewhere. So this could definitely be about a third-party situation. So to pay attention to that this year. So if you yourself are involved in one, maybe it's time to kind of, think about that a little bit more. Like, is this really where my attention should be going? Is this situation really worth it for me to be in? Am I gaining anything? Am I hurting anything? That kind of thing. Also, too, for some of you, maybe it's like a little heads up. Like maybe if you are, suspecting, like if you're in a relationship and you're suspecting maybe that type of behavior, maybe it's saying kind of pay attention to this, because it may be happening. That I think it's more for the Cancers who might be involved in a third party situation, but for some of you, it couldn't. Now, the other thing it could be, because it doesn't have to necessarily just be about relationships and things. This could also be with the Seven of Swords and the Moon card coming out that I had seen. This could also be like if it's like in a work related type thing, then this could be about being hurt in the past, all right, feeling like you were betrayed, feeling like you were stabbed through the heart, and it could have involved three people, one of them being you, and then maybe there was a couple other people like that were involved in this like kind of wronged type feeling. There could be some situation like that. Then with the Seven of Swords, this could be sort of seemingly what's the word I'm looking for? Underhanded type behavior. So, but the point though is to look at this and recognize why this is happening. So, like I'm just taking love and career because those are basic things that we can all relate to. So, but we'll talk about spirituality because it could be about that too. So the thing is though, if it's like a love or a work relationship, then it's looking at this, like I said, not burying anything. So if you've buried something that maybe happened last year or maybe up to 3 years ago, then it can't just be buried. You gotta take that up. You gotta examine. You gotta look at it a little bit. You don't have to overanalyze the death out of it or anything like that and get lost in some long world like that. But definitely let your emotions come forth about the situation. Recognize what it is about this that caused you this pain, and even sometimes as hard as it is, because sometimes when we just feel like we were betrayed, we were stabbed in the back, we were this, we were that. It's hard to understand that sometimes we do have a small role in this. And I know that's no fun to hear, and it's really difficult to hear because it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like somebody was just out to get us and all that kind of thing. So, and maybe that's the case, but then look at that and see, did you play any role in this, or was it just flat out, underhanded behavior? And once you kind of see it and view it, then that's when it's time, pull those swords out, let your heart kind of, the human body is amazing, and likes to repair itself from these like emotional wounds. So let it take those, physically see yourself taking those swords out if need be, whatever it is. Spiritually too, it could be disappointment with sort of, your spiritual path, your religious upbringing, any of those types of things that maybe you were on a spiritual path, or you've been on a spiritual path, but there's been some sort of betrayal for you, or some sort of disappointment. Like you thought that, perhaps like if you were doing this and doing that and so forth, that you would get something, or be further along, and there could be like those types of disappointments. But the point is, it's like this is all to show you that those swords need to be removed, because the swords are just mental anxiety driving you crazy. So I suspect for a lot of you, it's going to be more about a love situation and a third party situation, and to pay attention to it. Because if you've been in one, or you've been stuck in one, or it's going on, or or you're the participant in it, that kind of thing. And I'm not saying any of that is wrong or what have you. It's just saying pay attention to it, because it may be something that it's wrong if it's not serving you well, if it's causing you anxiety, or it's causing you guilt, or any of those things. Then then it's wrong in that sense, because you're just harming yourself. Okay, all right. Let's see, Cancers. Where am I at? Leo. All right. You have the Three of Pentacles. There's a kick-ass Three of Pentacles in this one. I love it. Really, really cool. So, okay, the three, oh God, what's that thing called? Yeah, I forget what it's called. The cool little, It's usually a different design, but yeah. Anyway, I forget. It's like the hermetic thing. It's cool. All right. So let's see. Three of Pentacles. So things to pay attention to, Leo. The Three of Pentacles is definitely about working with others to achieve something very good. It's like you work like everyone that you are working with this year in a small group or towards a goal. Okay, I'm not saying every single person you're working with, but anybody that you are working with in a smaller type group towards a similar goal. Like you guys will work well together, but it's important to appreciate the talents that each person has, right? So that is definitely figured here. But what I always love about the Three of Pentacles is that it kind of already is that way. Like you guys are already equal peers, so it's just. But anytime I think you get a few people like working together on something, I've been in bands before, and it's like, oh my god, you want to see like ego trips? Get in a band because it's like. It's like, oh my god, trying to get everybody on the same page, and it's that's just a nightmare. So that's not Three of Pentacles, like unless you're like a kick-ass band, like maybe this is Rush, right? It's like three people and they all work together, they all know their job, nobody's trying to stand out, and they just blend really well. But you get the picture. It's like this is a really good card of starting projects with maybe a couple other like-minded people. Okay, if you have like some kind of independent pursuit, if you are like an artist in any way or things like that this would be about like reaching out, like maybe you are out on Instagram or something like that, and you do some art things. Reach out to a couple other people that are kind of like-minded or around the same realm with you. See if maybe you guys can work on a collaboration. This is about working together, co-creation, utilizing each other's different talents, to make something eventually, well, yeah, to make something very good. So it's very nice. So, and if it's like relationship type stuff, the Three of Pentacles could mean many things. It could mean again, that you guys will just work well together. It's like you guys might even like work and have a relationship together. Like you might do both and blend well. It could also mean, for some of you, like if you've already been together with somebody for a long time, sometimes the Three of Pentacles can indicate like seeing someone, like a counseling session, things like that. But again, it's like not a waste of time. This is a good thing. Like it's a very positive card. It's about the beginnings of working well together. Okay, so that's what to pay attention to. And then spiritually, I mean, it's the mind, body, spirit, So I mean, bringing everything into realizing the different qualities of those and melding everything. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's see, Leo, Virgo. All right. Virgo, you have the Four of Cups. Don't you dare miss an opportunity, Virgo. Not this year. The Four of Cups. This is your card of what to pay attention to. So this particular card, this is about like, you're just staring and so intent on something else that you're not that you're not even seeing this like, oh, this golden moment cup, like literally like floating out of the sky with a huge aura around it. Like you don't even notice this opportunity being shown to you because you are so concentrated on whatever it is you're concentrated on down here. So, which is usually like past disappointment or boredom or, it's just don't miss any opportunities. Don't get so locked in to things that like, the way things might have went before or just like being too bored to even recognize that there are things around you. So don't get bored. This is an opportunity right here, and it's literally being handed down to you. So, and you are not seeing it because you are concentrated on these like little things down here. So be sure to open your eyes, Virgo. That is what I would say. Open your eyes. See, you need to see in a larger scope, circumference, although there is none, but like spiritually, but that's different. But okay, so just pay attention to things. Don't, this person's head is down. And I see a lot of people like that just walking around. Of course, that's maybe because I'm in a small town in Georgia and there's not much to, but they, they're walking in the stores, they got their head down, staring at their feet, not really looking around, not doing anything, and who knows? There could be these opportunities floating right past them every second. So work opportunities, love opportunities, spiritual opportunities, all kinds of things. So just be very very aware and start and getting in tune with the with other energies that may be around. Do not get lost in focus or disappointments or thinking about the past or past failures or a relationship that just ain't coming around. It's like don't get caught in that energy because there's something being handed to you this year. So be sure and recognize it. Okay. Libra. Libra, Ten of Wands. Okay, all right. So Libra, the goal this year is definitely to make it up that damn hill and drop all those sticks. Okay, so the Ten of Wands, is definitely, it's a 10. So there's something going on that should have ended already. You should be done with it, or you're damn tired of it, and but that's the thing. Then, if you're damn tired of it, get rid of it. All right. So they've got a little bit of ways to go, but not that far. They're almost to the top of the hill. Again, tens and tarot are like an ending of a cycle. It's just that Ten of Wands likes to linger there a little bit longer than it should naturally. So it's like a little bit past its natural time. So there's something that you guys need to let go of and get rid of in that's what is to pay attention to. Now, it might not be something super obvious. I mean, sometimes it's super obvious with the Ten of Wands. Other times it isn't. Because the thing is, that's why it might not be obvious, and that's why you have Ten of Wands. Because it's like the Ten of Wands is a lot of different, sometimes just passions or ideas or like things that you've just picked up along the way. And now they've become, it's kind of like in modern technology. It's like we get a computer, for instance. We go and we get a laptop, or let's say an iPhone, because that there we go, that's much easier. So you go and you buy this iPhone, and that was your first wand. It's like, ooh, my desire, I want an iPhone. So you go and you buy an iPhone, but then you realize, oh, that's not enough. I can't listen to my music because I don't have any kind of headphone. My headphones won't fit. There's no headphone jack or what have you. So now you have to go buy that little thing, that little adapter for your headphones. Okay, there's another wand. Okay, and then you decide, well, I'd really love to listen to music in my car and also be able to charge my phone at the same time. Oh wait, no, that's another adapter. So you got to go get that. And oh, God forbid, if you want to hook it up to like a microphone or, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like you started off with one desire. You just wanted the iPhone. But then here comes, oh, you need this adapter. Oh, you need this cord. Oh, if you want to do that, oh, you need this one. So before you know it, you've got like, ridiculous amount of like cords and things. Here's your little iPhone, but now you've got this whole pile of accessories to go with it, that it's like you kind of like lost your original desire and what that meant to you. Okay, so that's what to pay attention to this year. So put that metaphor in context as far as like if it's a relationship, if it's work, if you've got like way too many ideas, but it like jack of all trades, master of none, then be a master of one. That kind of thing, because you're almost there. You're almost at the end of putting behind a very significant phase in your life, but you've just got to make that final push, to get there. Okay, so very good. I like that card. I think it's going to be a good card for you guys, actually. Really good. All right, Scorpio. Ooh, all right. The Lovers card. Hell yeah. All right. So let's see. The Lovers card. I haven't really looked at this one too much yet, although it is cool. Oh, hold on. Is my battery going? Nope. Okay. Got that plugged in. Fire. Nice. Fire and blossoming and snake and angels and all kinds of good things. All right. So, I mean, it's the Lovers card, Scorpio, so pay attention to that. Maybe this is a cosmic type connection coming in this year. Maybe. So for some of you, it's like, I don't know. My problem is, I watch a lot of other tarot readers and like a lot of tarot on YouTube myself, and then it's like I notice like sometimes then like I get influenced by the, because I never ever looked at the Lover's card before as like a choice. But since I've watched so many tarot readings on YouTube for like, over a year and a half now, it's like I'll throw that in the mix. Well, it could be a choice. And it's like, no, I don't know. I don't see it that way. I really don't. So I'm going to kind of that's kind of my thing this year is I'm going to try and get back to like my my viewpoint, and not that I'm saying any others are wrong. Oh my gosh, please, I hope that didn't come out wrong, because I mean cards mean different things to different readers, so I'm not saying that it doesn't mean that. Okay, I'm just saying for me, sometimes I get influenced, Cancer rising, it happens. But yeah, so, definitely, pay attention. I mean, for some of you, sure, maybe there's, some choices that may need to be made in that realm. But for others of you, I think it's more about like cosmic connection, being able to recognize that, but navigate it and navigate it well. All right. Because the thing is about the Lover's card is sometimes it can be very, very, overwhelming, and you don't want to, not, pay attention to other things. Although it says pay attention to that. So yeah, never mind. Screw it. Just go for it, Scorpio. Actually, sounds good to me. Go for the Lover's card. And Gemini too, it is a sign for Gemini. So there could be a Gemini to pay attention to. So that I will go with. And then, yeah, pay attention to a cosmic connection. All right. That's where I will go with that. Let's see. Scorpio. Sagittarius. King of Swords, Sagittarius. So pay attention to the King of Swords. So we have a court card here. So this could be an actual person in your life, or this could be the attributes of this particular card. So the King of Swords is pretty kick-ass. He's very out of all the kings, it's like to me, like that's going to be the one that's going to get something done. It's like good or bad. Like if you need like a little dirty work done, you go to the King of Swords. Or if you need some very high type work done, you go to the King of Swords. It's like they're going to get it done because they can kind of transverse. They're not emotionally attached to the results, so they're kind of a go-to type person. So maybe this is that type of energy that you need to take on. The King of Swords, like again, they're very, again, like just not emotionally attached. That does not mean that they are not emotional. Don't get me wrong. I mean, emotions always play into, in fact, not being emotionally attached is being emotional. Okay, let me make that clear. But it's like they're able to cut through things. Like my thing is, I always say, like with the King of Swords, a lot of times, especially if it comes out in like career reads or things of that, type of read, is that they're like the one like in the TV shows or something that you're watching it, and like the corporation needs to downsize or downscale, and it's like, and that guy comes in, that character all of a sudden that everybody loves to hate, and starts like firing your favorite characters on the show, and but that's like what that type of guy is. Like he would be the one who would come in and like downsize people because he can do it, and it's not because he doesn't have a heart or anything like that. It's just because he sees what needs to be done, and he will do it, if he truly believes that that is what needs to be done. So this could be some sort of persona that you need to pay attention to for yourself. Okay, maybe you need to be a little bit more, trimming some things out of your life, cutting some things out of your life, macheting some things out of your life, that kind of deal. It could also mean, I mean, it's a King of Swords also. It's also very cerebral. It's about logic. The King of Swords is very self-assured in their decision because they have the intellect to back up their assuredness. So they've done the research. Or if they haven't done the research, they've delegated others to do the research so that they know they can make a clear decision that, with people they trust. So it's that type of energy. For others of you, it could be a person. That is very possible. It could be an air sign male. Let's see, Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. Court card, I said I'd have to clarify, so let me do that. Again, I want to remind everybody that this is not necessarily like the way your year is going. These are things to just pay attention to. So, all right. King of Swords for Sagittarius. Two of Swords, interesting. Okay. Is that going to help me anymore? Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Two of Swords doesn't really help me either. I think it's more about I don't think it's a person. I think it's a quality. Let me just check. What else? Anything else for Sagittarius to clarify this King of Swords? The Star card. Okay, so definitely could be Aquarian energy with the King, and you got the Two of Wands. All right, so there could be some kind of choice coming in. That's what I see for you guys, Sagittarius. So you got two pathways to go here. All right, you got some thinking to do, and you definitely think it through, because you may regret, like, you know, some choices if you don't, and end up in a situation that just goes, yeah, that there's something here that needs to end, that you guys have been carrying on too long. You guys need to make a choice. So the King of Swords in this particular way, it's like you got to cut something out. That's what's going on. You got to cut something out. You've got to truly discover with that Four of Swords, which is kind of like going deep into kind of like a meditative state almost, recognizing everything for what it is, and then finally realizing that, okay, now it's time to get up and go face what I need to go face, you know, and that kind of thing. Because the thing, you need to make the choice that is the one that you truly like feel guided to. Okay, so like not out of convenience, not out of comfortability, not out of just not wanting to change. You know, this is making a choice like because you know you feel like you are being led to something. Okay, so that's what I feel is important for you guys. It's nice, actually. It's really nice energy, because it's like kind of kicking ass, and then getting to like what it is that you were being guided to in the first place, like your true desire. So I think that's really good. All right, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Oh, Capricorn, the Hierophant, nice. All right. So it could be a Taurus. That is possible with the Hierophant here, but not necessarily. The Hierophant is, as far as like relationship things, it could be saying it's time to move it up, Capricorn. You know, maybe you've been in, I hear the cross watchers now going, yes, if only they could hear this reading. Time to move it up to another level. All right, for some of you, that it's long-term commitment, all those types of things. For a job, it's also, if it's like career related, it's saying now is the time to show your loyalty with a place. Like if you've been there for a while, but you've just sort of been on the fence, like, I don't know, do I want to be here? Do I not? But they're like a very large type organization or something. Maybe it's time to step up and show them that you are going to be loyal to this company. And then maybe then things might change a little bit for you too, in that way, just by letting them know that. For others of you, I mean, it's a hugely, you know, spiritual type connotations to this card. It's for many of you, I mean, it depends, you know, where you are at on a spiritual journey, because this can be a card of maybe you are the Hierophant. Like maybe you have a bunch of knowledge. Maybe you have a bunch of secret knowledge that you should be sharing. Maybe it's time to start sharing that this year. If that's not really your thing, if you're just starting off in the spiritual path, then maybe this is about finding someone, you know, finding finding someone that has more spiritual experience and kind of seeing what they have to say. Just be careful not to fall into a huge subservient trap with that, okay? Because spirituality, ultimately, any type of spiritual knowledge or leader or what have you, their goal is to lead you towards spiritual freedom. So you want to make sure you don't fall into any traps in that sense. But mostly this is, you know, it's about marriage, it's about spirituality, it's about commitment, it's about traditional ways of doing things, and that can fall into work. also. So it's like it's not a time necessarily to be super challenging of those things, but always follow your heart. I mean, it's just tarot reading, right? But so it can be about following traditions and more traditional ways of doing things. So it's a really nice card, actually. Very strong. Uh, big changes this year, but probably all to bring you like into a more stable type place. Okay. Let's see, Capricorn. Are we on Aquarius? Right? Yeah, Aquarius. Aquarius, Two of Pentacles. Okay. I like this Two of Pentacles. Kind of cracks me up. So yeah, all right. So time to kind of probably make some decisions. That's what this is about. So um, I haven't really looked at this card too much yet, and but I can see like the big waves and the boats are like like kind of tipping over and stuff. So it almost seems to me like this has gone on way too long. Like you've been like kind of avoiding the choppy waters, avoiding the trouble, avoiding the effed up kind of emotions, and like just kind of putting them behind you, thinking, oh, I'll deal with that later, I'll deal with that later, I'll deal with that later. But it's like it's almost like the time is now in a sense. Otherwise, you are running very dangerous of like continuing this like charade like forever, and you don't want to do that. I'm not saying that you are I'm just saying this situation, whatever this may be, because there's something here where it's like there's a need to move forward, but it's like, damn, you're kind of not sure where you want to put your energy or your time or your commitment or what have you. So instead you just kind of keep buying, biting and buying time so that you can make a decision. Aquarius can be very slow in deciding, and things like that. But it's ultimately to me like a card of needing to make a decision, move forward, do something, face the, otherwise that, I don't know, that tide's looking pretty high, and I don't know if you can outrun that, quite frankly. So, you don't want like to have a situation where then you get a flood of emotions and then it's like this big deal, and a big storm comes in, metaphoric storm, that kind of thing. So definitely, I think choices. Don't get trapped trying to juggle too many things at once. Also, that can be, also Aquarians can do that a little bit. Like, don't pick too many things that you're like and you feel kind of overwhelmed also, because that can cause problems. But mostly, yeah, I think it's just about making solid choices, and you can have more than one thing going on. Just like make this choice, move forward, and that's cool. And then if you feel like you've got the room to put in something else, then sure, then make this choice and then move forward with that, and kind of gauge it and see how it's going. And okay, cool, no storms yet, and then you're good with that. And then if you want to take on a little bit more, cool, do that, but a little bit at a time. But as long as it's a forward momentum, okay, and not just getting trapped back and forth. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, Eight of Wands. Okay, little busy Pisces. How about that? That's pretty cool, Eight of Wands. All right. So, Eight of Wands. So, Eight of Wands, messages, short trips, travel, communication, passion, all those types of things. So for Pisces, I mean, things to pay attention to are those keywords that I just said. For a relationship type thing, it could be make sure that you are letting them know you're interested. The Eight of Wands is about messages and communication. These are like, Cupid's arrows, that kind of thing, and they're getting ready to land. So there could be some messages coming in for you, but so that could be too, because this is what to pay attention to. So it could be messages that are coming in to you. So pay attention to those very clearly. Now that could be in regards to work, that could be in regards to relationships. And definitely could be in regards to spirituality. There might be, messages coming in that you need to pay attention to and make sure that you're not ignoring as far as like higher source. It's a very good card though. I feel like it's pay attention to you know, maybe there's some like little trips that are required, or somebody asks you to take a little trip. So pay attention to all that kind of stuff. It's motion, it's passion in all sorts of ways, all of that. So yeah, definitely. Let me give you one more on that. Temperance. Okay, so definitely could be like higher messages coming in from like your higher self. All right, because to me it's kind of like a guardian of sorts. All right, they could be trying to send you messages about something. So hear them and pay attention. And I feel like they're very positive. Like I don't feel like they're like warnings. Like oh, you know, like they're sending you like a message like oh don't go in there. Or, you know, I don't feel like it's like that. I feel it's like they're trying to send you positive messages. Also regarding love, I really feel like it's regarding love. Also could be Sagittarius. It is a card for Sagittarius, so there could be like a Sagittarius that is sending, like if so, pay special attention to that message that comes in. Let's see. This will probably be spiritual messages coming in from like from source is what I think, and I think they might come in like when you are for lack of a better word, like a little bit high for some of you. All right. But that's kind of what I see. So, like just pay attention to that. So, or a little bit, and I'm not saying oh my god go get loaded and go get high and all that so that you can get your messages from spirit, because it's not saying that. All right, I'm just saying that for some of you that do partake in those types of things, that you may get some like fairly like pretty significant divine messages coming in when you're when you're in like a little more kind of altered state. All right, so that's kind of, so for some of you maybe that's just like I don't know, like sometimes like I get high like meditating sometimes. Like I feel like I'm stoned. Like people think I'm stoned, you know, when I meditate, because it's like I kind of goofy, right? So it doesn't have to be like that kind. Is all I'm saying. But it's very beautiful, very nice. All right, so I'm gonna leave that there, and hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'll be doing some love readings and things soon. So all right, stay tuned for those. Subscribe, please, if you have not yet. That would be really really awesome. And yeah, absolutely. So all right, cool. All right, thanks guys. Bye.